The last Griffin. The wind, laden with the scent of ancient pine and the tang of salt from the distant sea, whipped around the mountain's peak. Perched on the highest crag, a magnificent creature watched. His name was Arcturus. He wasn't a hawk, nor an eagle, nor any bird known to man. He was a griffin, a creature born of myth and might, his very existence a whispered legend among men. His leonine body, sleek and tawny, pulsed with the power of 1,000 suns. His wings, feathered in ebony and ivory, spanned the width of 10 men, their movements as graceful as the dance of the wind. His head, with its fierce golden eyes and hooked beak, could cleave the toughest hide with a single strike. But Arcturus's gaze held more than just power. It held sadness, a deep melancholy that mirrored the desolation he saw in the world around him. For Arcturus was alone. His brethren, the other griffins, had vanished, swallowed by the encroaching darkness that had spread like a plague upon the land. The Shadowborn, they called it, a force of chaos and destruction, a nightmare given form, that gnawed at the very heart of the world. Some whispered that it was a consequence of man's rapacious greed, others that it was an ancient curse unleashed upon the land. None knew for sure, but all agreed that the Shadowborn was a creeping, insidious blight. The Griffins, ancient protectors of the land, were the first to succumb. Their strength, once a bulwark against the encroaching darkness, had proven futile. Driven from their sacred mountain by the unrelenting shadows, they had disappeared, leaving only their tragic fate as a chilling reminder of the Shadowborn's power. Arcturus remained, clinging to the hope that his kind was not entirely extinct, that somewhere, hidden within the depths of the darkness, a fellow griffin might still survive. But his hope was a frail ember, flickering in the chilling winds of despair. One day, a young woman, barely past childhood, stumbled upon Arcturus's crag. Her name was Alara, and her eyes, though filled with fear, held a glimmer of defiance, a resolute spark that refused to be extinguished. She had lost her family to the Shadowborn, their village consumed by the encroaching darkness. Her heart, heavy with grief, was driven by a desperate hope, a fragile conviction that somewhere, beyond the shadows, there might be a way to fight back. She had heard tales of the Griffin, whispered stories of his strength and his courage, and with a heart filled with desperation, she had come to seek his aid. Arcturus, initially wary, was drawn to Alara's courage, to the flicker of defiance that defied the encroaching darkness. In her eyes, he saw a glimpse of the world he remembered, before the shadows claimed everything he held dear. She reminded him of the light that still flickered within, a testament to the enduring power of hope. He agreed to help her. The journey would be fraught with danger, a perilous quest to find the source of the Shadowborn and perhaps, just perhaps, a way to banish it from the land. But Alara, with her unwavering hope and her heart filled with the love for the family she had lost, lit a fire within Arcturus's soul. He vowed to help her, not just for her sake, but for the sake of the world, for the sake of the light that still flickered within his soul. Their journey began in the heart of the Whispering Woods, where the shadows danced in the boughs, whispering tales of forgotten nightmares. The trees, once majestic, now twisted and contorted, their branches reaching out like skeletal arms, were draped in an unyielding darkness. The very air carried the scent of decay, and the wind, a chilling whisper, seemed to carry the echoes of the Shadowborn's whispers in its icy breath. They encountered the Shadowborn's corrupted beasts, once magnificent creatures, now twisted and ferocious, their every movement a testament to the darkness that had consumed them. Ilara, with her keen knowledge of the forest, its hidden paths, and the language of its creatures, guided them through the perilous maze. Arcturus, with his unmatched strength and razor-sharp claws, vanquished the monstrous guardians, their roars echoing through the silent woods. Each battle was a struggle, each victory a testament to the strength of their bond, their shared determination to push back the encroaching darkness. From the whispering woods, they journeyed south toward the sunken valley. The valley, named for its once flowing river, now a skeletal husk of its former self, was a wasteland of withered flowers and skeletal trees. The ground, cracked and parched, whispered of the Shadowborn's touch, the air heavy with the stench of decay that permeated every corner of the land. Their journey across the sunken valley was filled with despair. The whispers of the wind carried tales of villages lost, friendships shattered, of lives consumed by the shadows. They encountered survivors, refugees from the encroaching darkness, their spirits broken, their hearts weighed down by the losses they had endured. Ilara, fueled by a compassion as boundless as the grief she carried, extended her hand to them, sharing her meager rations and her unwavering belief in the possibility of hope. Arcturus, towering over them like a protector, instilled a sense of security they had long forgotten. His presence brought a sliver of confidence, a flicker of resistance to the shadows. Each interaction, each act of kindness, was a testament to their shared mission, a flicker of light combating the growing darkness. The land grew more desolate with each passing day, the whispers of the wind replaced by the oppressive silence of the Shadowborn's domain. They reached a plateau, a barren expanse of cracked earth and gnarled trees, where the very landscape seemed to weep beneath the oppressive weight of darkness. Here, they discovered a hidden cave, its entrance guarded by a grotesque, twisted creature, a terrifying amalgamation of flesh and shadow. The creature, a powerful manifestation of the Shadowborn, guarded the entrance to a hidden chamber. Ilara, using her knowledge of the forest's ancient lore, realized that the creature was a guardian of the land, a protector of the Shadowborn's heart. She had to appease it, not with violence, but with understanding. She approached the creature cautiously, speaking in a language ancient and hushed. The creature was more than a monster, she learned, a creature crafted from the fears and nightmares of the world, a reflection of the darkness that had crept into man's hearts. Her words, soft and filled with empathy, reached through the creature's fear, and she managed to placate it, allowing them access to the chamber. The chamber was dark, the air thick with the scent of decay. In the center of the room, a pool of swirling darkness pulsed, its surface rippling with energy. This, Ilara realized, this was the heart of the Shadowborn, the source of the darkness that enshrouded the land. They stood before the heart of the Shadowborn, the source of its power, the manifestation of darkness itself. The entity, sensing their presence, surged with a ferocity that ripped through their defenses. It was a creature of pure darkness, a monstrous amalgamation of fears and nightmares, its tendrils of shadow lashing out, seeking to consume them. Alara, remembering the guardians of the forest, understood that the Shadowborn's power was fueled by the despair that had consumed the land. She had to inspire the people, to awaken the embers of hope within their hearts. She rallied the survivors they had met, their faces, once etched with despair, beginning to display the faintest hint of defiance. Alara ignited the flame of hope within their hearts. She reminded them of their strength, of the love they held for their families, for their homes, for the land itself. And with a shared cry, the survivors, imbued with newfound courage, rose to face the darkness. Their voices, echoing through the cave, a symphony of defiance in the face of unending darkness, shook the very foundation of the Shadowborn's power. Arcturus, his golden eyes blazing with righteous fury, flew into the heart of the darkness. His wings, a beacon of hope against the encroaching gloom, ripped through the shadows, each strike a defiance against the heart of the darkness. But the Shadowborn's strength was immense, its tendrils of darkness searing his wings, tearing at his flesh. He fought with the fury of a wounded lion, the strength of his spirit mirroring the unwavering hope that filled Alara's heart. Alara, guided by her intuitive knowledge of the land and her heart's unwavering belief, sought the keystone, an ancient artifact said to hold the key to the Shadowborn's weakness. Legend spoke of a crystal, pure and radiant, imbued with the light of a forgotten dawn, capable of piercing the veil of darkness. It was said to be hidden within the heart of the Shadowborn's domain. Guided by the whispers of the wind and the faint flicker of hope that remained in her heart, Alara delved deeper into the Shadowborn's domain. She navigated labyrinthine tunnels, their walls slick with shadow, their darkness filled with whispers of despair. She felt the weight of the darkness bearing down on her, the fear of the unknown twisting at her insides. But she pressed on, her heart filled with the memory of the survivors, driven by the strength of her belief and the promise she had made to herself, to her family, and to the land. The tunnels opened into a cavern, its walls shimmering with the faintest hint of light. In the center, on a pedestal crafted from ancient stone, rested the keystone, a crystal as bright as the dawn, its energy pulsing with a power that defied the darkness. Alara reached out to touch the crystal, her hand trembling with the weight of hope. The crystal warmed to her touch, its energy flowing through her veins, filling her body with a radiant light. The power radiating from the crystal was strong, but it was bound by the darkness. She needed to amplify it, to fuel it with the collective will of the survivors. She returned to the chamber, the crystal clutched in her hand, its light illuminating the darkness. The survivors, inspired by the strength of the crystal, rallied around her, their voices raised in a chorus of defiance. Their hope, their grief, their love for the land flowed into the crystal, amplifying its light, pushing back the encroaching darkness. The combined power of the crystal and the collective will of the survivors blazed with a light so brilliant that it resonated throughout the Shadowborn's domain. The darkness, sensing its vulnerability, retaliated, Its tendrils reached out, seeking to consume them, to extinguish the beacon of hope that dared to challenge its power. But the light of the crystal, fueled by their combined strength, pierced the veil of darkness. The Shadowborn, its heart impaled by the radiant energy of the crystal, shrieked in agony. Its form, once a terrifying manifestation of darkness, began to dissipate, its tendrils of shadow dissolving into nothingness. The power of the Shadowborn began to wane. The darkness, its grasp weakened, retreated, pulling back from the land, leaving behind a world bathed in the soft glow of the restored sun. The Griffin, Ilera, and the survivors watched as the darkness retreated, its final wisps dissolving into nothingness. The air, once heavy with despair and decay, was now filled with a sweet, earthy scent, a promise of a world reborn. Arcturus, weakened but alive, flew towards Ilera. He landed softly beside her, his golden eyes gleaming with gratitude. His wounds from the battle were healing, his spirit rejuvenated by the light that had returned to the land. Ilera, her heart overflowing with joy, hugged Arcturus, her arms wrapped around his strong neck. She had found the Griffin, a creature of myth and legend, and together they had saved the world from the encroaching darkness. The survivors, their tears of joy washing away the despair of the past, began the process of healing their land. They rebuilt their homes, their laughter echoing through the land, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Arcturus and Ilera remained, protectors of a world reborn. They wandered the land, not just as guardian and protector, but as companions, two souls bound by a shared past and a shared commitment to a brighter future. The Griffin, once a creature of myth, was now a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, light could always be found. And so, the tale of Arcturus and Ilera, the Griffin and the girl who defied the shadows, became a beacon of hope for generations to come. It served as a reminder, a testament to the power of courage, compassion, and the enduring belief in the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. The Griffin, once a creature of myth, was now a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, light could always be found. The Griffin, once a creature of myth, was now a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, light could always be found. And as the years passed, the Griffin, the girl who defied the shadows, and their tale of courage and hope became whispers carried on the wind, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit.